Have you ever reached the end of the day and wondered where the time went? Maybe you had plans, things you really wanted to get done, but somehow the hours slipped through your fingers like sand. You find yourself saying, I was busy all day, but what did I actually do? If that sounds familiar, you are not alone. As we get older, we often feel like time is moving faster and our energy doesn't quite keep up the way it used to. But here's the good news: with just a few small changes, you can start managing your time in a way that brings more peace, more purpose, and even more joy to your everyday life. Now, I'm not talking about filling every minute with tasks. This isn't about being busy for the sake of it. It's about making time for what matters, whether that's spending a quiet afternoon in the garden, finishing a book you started months ago, or simply making time to rest without guilt. Time management after 60 isn't about doing more, it's about doing what's meaningful and doing it with ease. So, today, let's talk about 5 time management tips that actually work, especially for those of us who have earned the right to slow down, reflect, and live life on our own terms. We'll start with the first simple shift that can help you reclaim your time and energy without feeling overwhelmed or tied to a rigid schedule. Let's begin with something gentle yet powerful: starting your day with intention. It sounds simple, I know, but the way we begin our day sets the tone for everything that follows. And here's the thing: when you wake up and immediately react to whatever comes your way, the phone rings, the TV blares, the news floods in. You hand over your time to everything outside of you. But if you start your morning with even just 5 minutes of quiet reflection or planning, you begin your day with purpose instead of pressure. It might be as simple as sitting with a cup of tea and asking yourself, what do I want to feel today? Not what you have to do, but what you want to experience: peace, joy, productivity, or connection. Once you name it, your actions tend to follow. Maybe you jot down 3 small things you'd like to do, not a long to do list, just 3 meaningful things. Maybe it's calling a friend, organizing a drawer, or going for a walk before lunch. These moments of intention build momentum and they gently guide your time in a way that feels fulfilling instead of frantic. Now, once you have set your intention, let's talk about another powerful habit, one that might surprise you. It's learning to say no, kindly but firmly. At this stage, you've spent decades showing up for others, for your kids, your spouse, your co workers, your community. And while that's beautiful, there comes a time when protecting your own time becomes essential to your well being. Not every invitation deserves a yes. Not every request needs to be accepted. And you don't need to explain yourself. Every time you say no to something that drains you, you say yes to something that fills you. That might be rest, creativity, quiet time, or simply people who make you feel good. So, the next time someone asks for your time, pause and ask yourself, is this how I want to spend my day? And if the answer is no, allow yourself to say it with grace. You don't have to be rude. A simple, I appreciate the offer, but I'm taking time for myself today, is more than enough. That brings us to another gentle yet highly effective way to manage your time. Structure your days around your energy, not the clock. You know your body better than anyone. Maybe you feel sharp and focused in the morning, but get a little sluggish after lunch. Or maybe your creativity sparks in the evening after the world quiets down. The beauty of this stage in life is that in many cases you have more control over your schedule. You don't have to follow a rigid 9 to 5 routine anymore. You get to design a rhythm that suits you. So, if you feel your best before noon, try to do your most important or meaningful tasks in that window. Whether it's writing, exercising, cleaning, or even having heartfelt conversations. Schedule them when your mind and body feel most alive. Then use your lower energy times for gentler activities, reading, meditating, or resting. By syncing your tasks with your natural energy flow, you will find that things feel easier, smoother, less like a struggle, and more like a dance. When we think of productivity or managing time, we often imagine sitting down for hours at a stretch, powering through chores, or tackling projects all at once. But let's be honest, who really wants to do that anymore? And more importantly, who can? After a certain age, our bodies and minds naturally prefer a gentle pace. So instead of long, exhausting marathons, what if you gave yourself permission to work in short, focused bursts? Try this. Pick one task, just one, and give it 20 minutes of your attention. That's it. Set a timer if it helps. No pressure to finish it all. Just start. Maybe it's tidying a shelf, organizing old photos, or finally writing that letter you have been meaning to send. And here's the magic. Once you start, momentum kicks in. That little sense of progress fuels you, and sometimes you will find yourself naturally continuing beyond those 20 minutes. But even if you stop right there, you have already moved forward. You have used your time with intention and not obligation. This approach works especially well on those days when motivation feels low. Instead of putting things off because they seem too big or too tiring, you just take one bite, one step, one 20-minute window. Over time, these small blocks add up to real change, and they do it without burning you out. And speaking of doing too much, let's talk about distractions. These days, we are surrounded by them: buzzing phones, constant notifications, endless news, and more channels that we know what to do with. And it's not just the young folks. We get swept up in it too, don't we? You sit down to check the weather, and suddenly an hour's gone, scrolling through things you didn't even plan to see. Here's something to remember: just because it's available doesn't mean it deserves your time. Distraction is the enemy of intention. Every time we give away our attention without thinking, we are letting someone else or something else decide how we spend our day. So, what can we do about it? Try creating a few quiet zones in your day. Maybe in the morning, you hold off checking your phone for the first hour, or perhaps you pick one or two windows during the day when screens are off and the mind can breathe. This could be your reading time, your walk time, or just a moment to sit in silence. These little tech free zones act like anchors, gently pulling you back to the present where your real life is happening. And don't worry, the world will wait. That message, that news update, that video, it'll still be there later. But your time, that's precious. Once it's gone, it doesn't come back. So guard it like something valuable. because it actually is. Now, I know that some of you might be thinking, but I like my routines. I have done things a certain way for years, and that's completely valid. Routines give us comfort and stability, but every now and then it's helpful to step back and ask, is this routine still serving me, or am I just doing it because I always have? Sometimes the answer is yes. The routine still brings joy or calm or clarity. Wonderful. Keep it. But other times we realize we are holding on to habits that no longer fit who we are now. Maybe you always used to cook elaborate times, but now a light meal and more rest actually feel better. Or perhaps you have always filled your afternoons with chores when what you really want is time for your favorite hobby. Give yourself permission to change. You are not the same person you were 10 or 20 years ago, and that's a beautiful thing. Life changes, and you get to change with it. Time management isn't about squeezing more into the day, it's about making space for what matters now. And when you approach your time with that kind of self kindness, a gentle, mindful awareness of your needs, your limits, and your joys, you will find that the days start to feel different and not rushed, not wasted, but balanced, rich, and satisfying. Now, let's bring everything together with one final reminder, and this one might be the most important of all. Give yourself grace. Because at the heart of time management, real, meaningful time management, is the understanding that not every day will go according to plan, and that's okay. Some mornings you'll wake up energized, ready to tackle everything on your list. Other days you might feel slower, more reflective, or just plain tired. The key isn't to fight those shifts, it's to honor them. Managing your time isn't about squeezing every second into productivity. It's about responding to life instead of reacting to it. It's about choosing what matters most in that moment and letting the rest wait. One of the most freeing things you can do at this stage in life is to stop measuring your days by how much you did and start measuring by how they felt. Were you at peace? Did you have a moment of connection? Even just a smile shared with a neighbor? Did you notice something beautiful? The way the sunlight touched your window? Or your favorite song made you feel young again? Those are the things that make a day worthwhile. Those are the things that fill your time with life, not just activity. So, if the laundry didn't get done or you didn't cross everything off your list, remind yourself that's not failure, that's life. It ebbs and flows. And when we give ourselves space to move with it off against it, then when time begins to feel like an ally instead of an enemy, let your days breathe. Leave room for stillness, not spontaneity, and yes, for rest. Rest isn't wasted time, it's healing time. It's where your energy comes back, where your thoughts settle, and where your heart gets quiet enough to hear what really matters to you now. And here's a little truth: just because we are older doesn't mean we stop growing. You still have dreams, you still have ideas and love and so much wisdom to share. So, as we wrap up, let's gently remember the small steps that can change the way we experience each day. Start with intention, not urgency. Know when to say no and mean it with love. Follow your energy, not the hours on the clock. Take things in small, manageable pieces. Step away from the noise and return to what's real. And most of all, trust that every moment you spend in alignment with who you are now is time well spent. You are not racing anymore, you are choosing. And that, my friend, is the greatest freedom there can ever be.